Buenas tardes from beautiful Matagalpa, Nicaragua. Been a couple days since I posted. It's currently going on 5:45 here, Central Time. Again, no daylight savings. So, a couple things have happened. One, I am day 3 into trying to beat a nasty sinus infection. Short answer, it's a reoccurring issue for me with my health concerns. The medication I'm on for rheumatoid actually causes it. I've had sinus infections pretty much consistently since June. So on Monday, I found the equivalent to the ENT, the really long name that I can't pronounce here. They're right down, they're like 3 doors down from the Restaurante Vita Bella that I've gone to, the Italian restaurant that I've posted pictures for. And I'm going to see if I can get either there in office or a referral for what is known as balloon sinusplasty, which is basically they take really small balloons and they blow them up into your sinuses to break little bitty tiny paper thin bones to allow more airflow. Should help my breathing at night, should help with the sinus infections, should be an improvement. It's a very simple outpatient procedure. More often than not, they just put you under a local. It's not a general anesthetic, so you don't have to go to a hospital to do it. You can do it in a doctor's office. The simple answer would be go back down to Managua and go to Vivian Pellis. However, the hospital is for profit. A procedure that costs $3,000 to $7,000 in the U.S. would probably still cost me $1,200 and an overnight stay at the hospital for something that could be done in a doctor's office and have a cab take me 3 blocks home and rest for 2 days. Be able to fly 2 weeks later. Should help with my allergies and all those kinds of things. So I'm hoping either one, the one and only local office in the city of 115,000 can perform the procedure, or refer me to somebody else in country that can. And if I have to do a 2.5-hour drive to Managua, so be it. It's not the worst thing. It's an inconvenience, but so is having sinus infections for most of the last 10 months. So I'm hoping to get an answer and a path direction on that on Monday. What else has been happening? Well, with this sinus infection, I've had to bail on today and yesterday's Spanish classes. So I'm behind the 8 ball on that. Sunday is entirely a study day because I'm still struggling with my language skills. The great news. So one, we got rain here yesterday. This is the dry season. It's considered summer down here. And April is the warmest month of the year. We actually got rain yesterday afternoon for about an hour, which, like, yay, it's rain. Well, that helps knock down a lot of the dust in the air. The air has been very dry. So even though I'm at a higher elevation with better air quality, it's still very dry air and there's dust particles. My instructor told me there was a local virus going on with similar symptoms and stuff. I'm not needing a hospital. If I need to go to a clinic, there is one across the street and the pharmacy's next door to it. That would cost me $0 to be seen and treated. If they had to medevac me over to the hospital, the ambulatory would cost $0. The hospital stay would cost $0. I'm not in that situation, but it is an annoyance that I'm hoping that I can get a resolve on in the next few months. But the other good news is I met up with one of our members of our WhatsApp chat group that lives down in Leon, and they were actually visiting Matagalpa for a couple hours on their way up to Selva Negra, where I stayed 2.5 years ago. It's their first visit up there. I warned them about the aggressive geese when they sit down to eat, because the geese will non-politely tell you to give them food. It's comical, as long as you're not the one that's being harassed by the geese. They gave me a referral for 3 things. They gave me a referral to somebody that knows all the rentals in the area. They gave me a referral to a doctor, and they gave me a referral to an immigration specialist. I don't need the immigration specialist. I have literally compiled every single document that I need to go to Migracion in Managua by May 10th, with the exception of a permanent address. So I actually have a cab driver taking me for a 2-hour drive in the morning from 10 to 12 through the neighborhood that I have not been to yet, that I think I want to live in based off of maps, reviews, and second, third-hand information. And now I have the rental specialist who's going to pick me up from where I'm at now at 1 o'clock and take me to an actual unit. I've seen the pictures. It's furnished. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. Do not know the price yet. Would easily meet my needs for a 1-year rental to establish residency while I get to know the neighborhood, know the neighbors, and then look for a longer term home in that neighborhood. So I have my dollar amount in my head. Since it is furnished in the region, my market is I'm willing to pay 500. Don't know if that's going to be in line with what she has, but 500 is the high end for most 2-1s, but it is furnished. If it was unfurnished, I'd be looking at about 300, 350, because this is up on the north end of town where there's yards and there's trees and there's grass. The inner city, you don't have that down in the main metro of the valley. You have it up on the walls of the valley, like you saw when I had the pictures from Brooklyn Cafe. So I'm actually going to get 2 trips up to Molina Norte, which is on the north end of town that I could not access by foot. The hills were too steep. But Molina Norte is where the main hospital of the departamento is, and a department's like a county. So if I live in this neighborhood, I am a walk from the hospital of the county. That would not cost me a penny. And if they can't provide assistance, they will medevac you by ambulance to another hospital that can at no cost. So I kind of laughed that I wound up in this Airbnb for 3 months, and I've got a clinic and a pharmacy across the street if I needed. And then come to find out the neighborhood I'm looking at is within like a 10-minute walk of the major hospital. So I should be posting pictures tomorrow of hopefully part of the drive, as long as the GoPro and the camera are working great, the phone's working great. And then if I like the unit based off the photos I've already seen, and I think I'm going to be signing something, I'm going to be sharing those photos, and I'll share the information for the lead, and I'll share the price, and I'll share all the information, because I got 4 more weeks to take care of this. It's the last piece. Once I have a lease in hand, I go back over to my attorney, Pablo, get it notarized as a copy to show I do have a permanent address since I don't have the utilities turned on yet. I can start moving my stuff over into the new unit from where I'm currently at. I'm booked here till the middle of June, but I need to have a new residence by the middle of May, which means I can stay here leisurely and move things over when I can. That's nice. Now, we've always been told it's $500 application fee for the 5-year pensionado residencia, which is the pensioner's residency. And as we were talking about it, somebody shared a video from the local TV station from a year ago and stated it was $610 US. So it's $3 for the application form. I already made a cheat sheet. I did my cliff notes of how to fill out that form in Spanish. So I'll take that with me so I can complete the form accurately, but I've got all my other documents done. I will turn that into Migracion and then wait for the day they schedule an in-home visit, talk to the neighbors, see if I'm a good neighbor. Has he been a good gringo? Is he doing anything he's not supposed to do? And then I update that ID card every 6 months, and then that application's good for 5 years. Periodically, I'll have to update the financial information, but once I have the initial establishment, instead of going through all the trials and tribulations I did with the U.S. State Department, getting stuff apostille, I should be able to use bank accounts, copies of my bank statements, take them to the local attorney and notarize those. That should work. And if not, I'll qualify for a slightly different program, the Rentista, based off of income I have coming in from back from the state. So the Rentista is not about rental, but the Rentista and the Pensioner are almost identical in requirements, but it's up to Migracion. If they determine I'm a good candidate, they will find a way to approve me, and I have no reason for them not to approve me. So I get 2 trips up to the neighborhood that I've wanted to see tomorrow. Sunday is a study day. And Monday after class, I'm going to go talk to the ENT and see about getting a nasal office surgery thing done, outpatient procedure, soon. and then I don't have to worry about it before a flight, after a flight, being in a pressurized cabin and all that kind of stuff. So that's the updates for now. The weather has been great. It's mid 80s in the daytime, it's mid 60s at night. And again, it's still drastic. I'm explaining to everybody, even though Florida has similar weather, Florida has a higher humidity. I'm up in the mountains with more continual wind flow. But being a 1,000 miles closer to the equator, when the sun comes out, you are getting more direct UV rays, and it is noticeable. I do not leave the house in the daytime without a hat. It's just, it would be dumb. I have noticed my arms get warm in a short sleeve shirt, and you'll notice people in the tropics wear full jeans like I've done. I have not been wearing shorts. And many, if they work outdoors all day in agricultural, which is most of this departamento is agricultural, they're wearing full-length shirts like you would see the agricultural workers working in any part of the U.S. They're trying to protect their skin. So it doesn't matter where you're from, the UV rays are UV rays, and it can cause skin damage to everybody. But I've had good meals. I've met some nice people. Haven't had a lot of opportunity to interact in Spanish because I don't have a lot of people with enough English to correct me and engage. Although kudos to my instructor, she's been great. Looking forward to once I get a place established and I've got that stress of my rodentia taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and ask about doing 2-hour segments a day because I'll just take the bus into town in the morning, do what I need to do, take a bus in the afternoon back, because what else do I have to do but learn Spanish, buy groceries, cook food while I can, and that's about it. So that's the updates from Matagalpa. I hope everybody's doing well, and hopefully, like I said, I'll have some videos to process tomorrow. They may not get posted till Sunday. All depends on how the Wi-Fi is working and how the camera and the phone are working, but hopefully I have stuff posted tomorrow evening. If not, it'll be up on Sunday. And until the next segment, adios.